Brett says, "Hey, Dutch and James, I was watching a documentary about James Arthur Harris, and they were talking about one of his characters, Kamala, and him wrestling with you. How's it wrestling Kamala? Do you have any good stories about Kamala? Thanks."
Oh, yeah. Kamala, I love that guy. He was he come to Memphis TV. Of course, Lawler saw him. And I had seen him. I'd worked with him in Knoxville several years earlier. So I knew him. And he came in and he met Jimmy Hart and met Lawler and he was a big guy, so Lawler liked him. He said, hell, that could be one of my opponents. So, and then the way they would get guys ready for Lawler, they just send him out on Monday nights and tape it, record it. And I think he went through, he beat Bill Dundee first, I think. Then he beat one of the Fabs, Stan Lane. Then he beat Steve Kern. Then he beat one more guy. And then he was supposed to beat, I think, Handsome Jimmy. And Handsome Jimmy, he didn't make it because he got hurt. He didn't, literally, he got sick. So they put me in the spot. So the rule is, if you put somebody in the spot of like a Handsome Jimmy, you don't really, that's what they told me. They say you don't really beat them. Because I don't beat him either, but we're just going to get a DQ. So he said, let's don't, Jerry Jarrett told me this. He said, let's don't, it's already a bad taste in their mouth that Jimmy is not here. So if we beat you, then that's another bad taste. So we'll just get a DQ. I said, okay, how you want to do it? He says, and this is in Memphis. This is in the deep South. He said, I want you to pull that bullwhip off the corner and use it on Kamala. I went, Jerry, I don't know. He said, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll have Kamala get it first and beat the shit out of you. And somehow you do something and you end up with it. And then you just get a pop or two and he leaves. I said, all right. So we did that. And he whopped me a couple of times with that whip and somehow I ended up with it. But before we went out there, that Kamala's eyes were like this. He said, do it hurt? I said, no, it won't hurt. I'll throw it behind you and end a pop and just sell it. Because you can throw it behind them and where it pops, pow, and it moves so fast, nobody'd be able to tell it. I said, I'll do that about twice, hit the road, hit the bricks. So we did that and it didn't hurt him. He come back, he said, wow, man, I scared death. I scared death about that bullwhip. I said, I told you I'm not gonna hit you with it. But, and I told you the story, I would go to some of those towns down south, would be like 75% black. I'm with that whip. That was Ernie Ladd's idea, by the way. So, and it worked. And I would go to the ring and I'd be the heel and they wouldn't even boo or nothing. They just look at me. That's a very unnerving feeling. You got about 1,000 people in this high school gym and 80% of them are African-American and I got a bullwhip. Oh my God. So sometimes when the black guy would get the whip, hell, they cheer like hell. Beat that motherfucker. And then I'd get out there and then I'd run and they were happy with that. So funny how we bringing stuff up like that. James, you're just too much. You are. Give me another question.
Well, what was I going to ask? Oh, yeah, I know it's a basic question, but when I look at Kamala, I always think there's a dude who is a night off. The story tells itself with Kamala.
He is. You couldn't even feel him. You know, when he would go up and he coming down with that chop, it would just, all you had to do was sell it. As soon as it got close, boom, he was gone. And he weighed over 350. probably 375. He was a big old boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was sad the way he ended up. I think they had to amputate both legs. He had diabetes, but really, really good guy and funny as hell.